now.
Hello, my friends, Gary Goes, and fellow poets. Welcome back to Conversing with Poets. So glad that you could join us. Hello, Mark. Hello, class. Hello, Delgirl. Hello, Danny. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. First of all, who hasn't hit that like button? Don't forget to hit that like button. I just realized something, so I'm going to have to quickly run into the background here. But yes, please do hit that like button. It's completely free, but it does really help me. So if you can, I'd really, really appreciate it. How is everyone doing? Oh, okay, it is done. Okay, never mind. It is. How is everyone? What have we been up to? What are we doing? Have we been writing? I think everyone here except Danny. Oh, and Delgao. So just marking class. I know you guys are taking part in Glopo Rimo. We had our Covers hangout. Oh, and Genevieve. Is Genevieve here? I know Genevieve's in the mod chat. I don't know if Genevieve has made it to the stream just yet. But I know Genevieve is number 3. Thank you so much. 8K. Hello, Genevieve. Genevieve is here. Hi, Genevieve. Yes, little Danny. Look at that number right there. 8,020 subscribers. We hit 8,000 this week. So thank you so much to everyone that is subscribed. Thank you to everyone that likes. That's why I ask you to like it, because the more likes it gets, I see those celebrations in the chat. Thank you so much. The more likes videos get, the more they get pushed out, the more comments, the more it gets pushed out. So you guys have directly influenced that. So I thank you so much for everything that you do to support the channel. We've finally hit 8,000, and I do still have my sights on 10,000 by the end of the year. So if you know any poets that you think might enjoy the channel, then do share it with them. Do share it with them. So yeah, I'm in the background as I'm having my dinner. Okay, well, enjoy your dinner, Dill Girl. I hope you've got some to pass around to all of us. I hope you're going to share some of that. Oh dear. TV isn't liking the stream tonight. That's not good, Danny. Excuse me. So what's everyone been up to? Tell me, tell me, tell me. I always wait until about 5 past, 10 past, just to see if we get any more people join us before we dive into today's breaking news in the poetry world. Because we don't need any more breaking news in the real world. Finished a poem last night. Congratulations, Mark. That's great. I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope everyone's got their beverage of choice. I got a huge mug of coffee. Working, first day off since last Sunday. Oh my goodness. Danny, you need more time off work. Tell your boss that I said so. And if they disagree, then they'll have an army of poets at the door. You need more time off. I'm glad that you guys can hear me this time. Normally I start streams muted. But this time I guess I've done good. Even though I messed up our moderator's document in the background. My bad, my bad. Technology is not my thing, as people are probably quickly learning. But let me know if the stream is struggling on your end. We're trying to figure out, the mods and I, whether the stream is struggling, because it does buffer every now and then. Let me know if you're experiencing the same issue, because that wouldn't be good. I mean, barely done any working this week, to be honest. The baths broke on Monday afternoon, and they didn't get fixed till Friday afternoon. So I guess you were just chilling then. I don't know. What do you do if the baths break? Seems okay now, but it was buffering a lot during the countdown. Maybe YouTube's just gotten tired of the song. You're good in the US. Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. So just to let everyone know at the start of the stream, and I'll remind people as we go along, but there won't be a conversing next weekend. From Thursday to Sunday, I'll be in Budapest. I'm landing back in London on the Sunday, I think around 6 p.m. So I could maybe get back for 7. but it would be tight and I'd probably want to sleep. So there won't be a stream. Just in case people are watching playback and they don't make it to the end of the stream, I'll say it now. There won't be a stream next week. The odd dry grooms which ruins my personal equipment. Ah, that's not good. You should charge them. You should charge them wear and tear. Your boss, I mean. You should charge your boss. But yeah, that's not good. Take enough pictures so you have plenty of prompts to write about. Yes, yeah. Oh, I plan to take lots of pictures. I might even do a members live stream while I'm there at some point. And then I've got an idea for a video, but I can't film that video until I get back. So, how secretive of me. How secretive of me. But yeah. Yes, thank you, Nightbot. Don't forget to hit that like button. We got 7 people watching, but only 3 likes. So if you haven't hit that like button, whilst I move this camera down angle a little bit, touch. Maybe I've gone too far now. Hit that like button, guys. On my end, it's fine. Your 60-second poem was major glitching for me. My 60-second poem. My 60-second poem. I'm not sure what that was. What was my 60-second poem? Oh, you mean the short? Yeah, I will if my clipper dies on me, as it's just had a service. I also had to pay out £130 for a new mini clipper as mine died Friday. Oh my goodness. I had no idea dog grooming equipment was so expensive. I would have thought that your company would have paid for that. The alphabet one, right? Okay, it's fine. Yes, I saw. I don't know why that's glitching. I don't know why that's glitching. I'm just gonna have to delete it, I guess, and do it again next week. Although again, I can't do it next week, so I'll have to do it again at some point. Advert for leg ulcers, just what I wanted after dinner. Thanks, YouTube. Nice. Nice YouTube's algorithm, eh? All right. You still get the point across in a techno kind of way. Yeah, but it's glitchy. It's glitchy. It's not great. Made me go, what? I'm gonna take it down and I'll have to do it another week. All right, let's go into the breaking news section then, I guess. So I want you all getting back into my writing groove. Yes, Mark. Good. That's great. That's good to hear. For me, that's very exciting. Absolutely. Class is melting. Thomas, free poem goal today. Coming here for inspiration. Nice. 3 poems today. Goodness me, that is a big target, but you can do it, Thomas. I know you can. Don't know whose algorithm it is on, but it's not fine. Mitch? Is that Mitch? All right. I want you all to stand by with your best breaking news headlines. As you know, when we move over to the breaking news section, you can put some headlines up in this corner and I'll read the best ones out. So here we go. Breaking news. Okay, breaking news in the poetry world. I've got some good ones for you today. I've got Val Kilmer wrote poetry. There's a new poetry trail, not the one we've already spoken about, but yet another poetry trail. Dog owner shocked by cost of grooming equipment. Yes, I can add to that, as is poet. Yeah, yet another trail, but it's going to be a good one. I've got a great story for this one as well. Val Kilmer's poetry. We have a poetry headline from India, which is really exciting. Um, and then some really random headline that I found that just made me roll my eyes because it's typical British news. Morning all, daylight savings ended, so I get my mornings back. Welcome back, Mark. It's so good to see you popping in. It's so good to see you. We're just getting started with our news headlines. But if anyone can think of some wild headlines that they want to throw in the chat up here, feel free to do so. It's just a bit of fun. I thought it'd be entertaining, so feel free to do that. All right, let's start with our first news headline for the day. Val Kilmer poetry as Doc Holliday would be awesome. All right, our first headline today: Poetry in Motion, walking the new Wordsworth way in the Lake District. I'll read some of the article and then I'll tell you something really exciting about this one. Come forth into the light of things, implored William Wordsworth in his 1798 poem The Tables Turned, extolling the virtues of good old-fashioned walk in nature. Treading through his homeland of the Lake District more than 2 centuries later, on a radiant early spring day, sunbeams casting through bare branches to anoint the daffodils, it's a compelling edict. As a founding father of England's Romantic poetry movement, Wordsworth's legacy is synonymous with the rolling, rugged landscapes of the lakes. He and his contemporaries Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Robert Southey were collectively known as the Lake Poets. And to gaze on the region's deep, still waters and scrabble across its fells, it's to understand sources of his artistic inspiration. I'm reading a lot of this article. Let's see if we can get to the meat of it. That, at least, is the aim of a new walking route dedicated to the literary giant's life and work. The Wordsworth Way, which was unveiled on the 7th of April, so it's brand new. Not even a week ago, not even 7 days ago, by my calendar anyway. Which was unveiled on the 7th of April to celebrate the poet's 255th birthday. The idea is to get people experiencing the lakes the way the Romantics did by slowing down, noticing the details in the landscape, and reflecting on nature. So I'm sure that the mods have already done so. There's a great article, and I do suggest that you guys give this one a reason give this one a read for a very good reason. I spoke to my friend Bruno. Some of you may have interacted with him in the chat, but I'm sure most of you have heard me talk about him. He called me up and he said, "I've got an idea for your birthday." And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go up to the Lake District and we are going to walk the 14 miles of the Wordsworth Way, and we are going to film it and I'll make a video out of it. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do for my birthday. We're going to get me, his brother Ed, his partner, I think we're all going to go up to the Lake District and we're going to hike the 14 miles and we're going to camp and it's going to be a great time. So keep an eye out for that. Read that article and then keep an eye out for my birthday video because it will be on that trail, which is going to be a whole different style of content that we've never had on the channel before. So exciting stuff. I do like themed walkways. We have many here, mostly war-based. Nice, okay. I bet that's really interesting. How do I invent teleportation so I can visit? I don't know about teleportation, but yeah, no, I don't know about teleportation. I was gonna make a joke about the DeLorean and time travel, but that doesn't teleport you to a whole different continent, I'm afraid. So maybe if you drive 98 miles an hour, I don't know. Bring his poetry and read it as you walk and as you camp. That is the plan, Mark. That is very much the plan. Yeah. As I say, it's gonna be a birthday trip. We're gonna hike. It's not all gonna be on camera, but we are gonna film a lot of it, and I'll make a video for you guys. And that is one of the plans, to read his poetry whilst doing the trail. Yeah, sadly the DeLorean won't help. Sorry. All right, let's move on to our next headline, which caught my eye. A close reading of the poetry of Val Kilmer. In 77, Val Kilmer was 17. He was raw with grief over the recent death of his younger brother Wesley. He flung himself into his studies at Juilliard, where he'd auditioned for the drama program with a poem. Quote, "I wrote my own piece because I couldn't find anything that would be fresh." End quote, he said. Quote, "They'd heard everything I knew that... What? They'd heard everything and I knew that... Third time lucky. They'd heard everything, and I knew that. So I decided to do my own thing and see how it went." His own thing, end quote. His own thing was Sand, an original poem. Sand. It is poured in my side, and when it is still, and it is night, and ground on even lines. Why can't I read tonight? My brain is not functioning tonight. Sand. It is poured in my side, and when it is still, and it is night, and ground on even lines rest in sleep. At the time, Kilmer was the youngest actor to be admitted into Juilliard's program. Poetry got him there. It could be no other way. I love that. Yes. In second grade, he read a poem aloud to his class, Trees by Joyce Kilmer, his second cousin twice removed. The penultimate line, poems are made by fools like me. The young Kilmer loved words. Quote, I was thrilled by how love rhymed with dove and semi-rhymed with hug, end quote. Um, self Kilmer self-published My Edens After Burns, a collection of poems which infamously contains a piece titled The Fifer Howls at the Moon. I didn't know that. Okay, we're going to have to find that and I'll do a book review. I didn't know he had a self-published book of poetry. Kilmer and Michelle Pfeiffer met while filming an ABC after-school special, and the poem was originally written to be given to her. Kilmer wrote poetry between filming scenes of Thunder Heart. A perfectionist to the point of obsession, Kilmer said that poetry helps to calm his mood. I don't have to please anyone but myself. Oh, his most comprehensive volume was Cowboy, Poet, Outlaw, Madman, Selected Poems, 1987 to 2020. I did not know that Val Kilmer was this much into poetry. Did anyone else know this? And it gives a whole load of examples as well. So I'll let you guys read the rest of that. But yeah, wow, who knew? I'll have to go in search of his books. Mark says, interesting. The poem I finished last night is titled Sand. That's great. I had no idea. No, neither did I. I did not know. I had no idea he was such a advocate for poetry and such a poet himself. That's great. That's great. All right. The next headline is I don't know how to present. I don't know how to bring this to you. It caught my attention immediately. It comes from India, and it's quite. It's massively powerful and empowering in my mind, but other people might think maybe not. Um, but yeah, I'll just read it to you. How a Pune woman made death wait while she collected, translated Sufi Sindhi poetry. I hope I'm saying that right. So one more time. How a Pune woman made death wait while she collected, translated Sufi Sindhi poetry. Pune-based researcher and author Charu Gidwani had been singularly captivated by Samast and the constellation of other Sufi poets. She was convinced of a need to compile and translate their works. From the day of beginning I am yours. One moment at Sashal's courtyard. Step your holy feet. These are lines by Sashal or Sakal Samast, a Sufi whose kalams, quote, flow unhindered in the stream of love and pain, end quote, and are an essential part of Sindhi literature. Samast, which meant drunk head or ecstatic, seemed to fit the poet who constantly appeared to be lost in ecstasy. To this day, his words light up hearts and minds at Sufi gatherings with their simple sense of lyricism. Researcher and author Charu Gidwani had been singularly captivated by Samast and the constellation of other Sufi poets. She was convinced of a need to compile and translate their works. As the world prepares to mark World Book Day this month, Charu's Labour of Love, an anthology of Sindhi Sufi poetry as preserved by the Sindhis of India, will be launched at RAAH, a literary and cultural centre in Pune on April 12th. At the gathering that will celebrate the first such anthology, the only missing person will be Charu herself. This is where it gets sad. On April 8th, 2013, she finished this anthology after almost 13 years of work. 13 years compiling this anthology. The next day, she was admitted with an acute pain in the stomach that she had been ignoring for almost a year while she worked on the anthology. It turned out to be septic tumor of the liver. On April 19th, after being in a coma for the past 10 days, she passed away. It is very sad, but I think well worth bringing to everyone's attention. So I hope you don't mind me bringing a sad story to your attention, but an important one maybe. 13 years work. Her story, steeped in the devotion that characterized Sufis, will be told by her brother, Rohitesh Gidwani, a freelance faculty member at Symbiosis Business School. Quote, the discussion on Sufi concepts would happen at the dining table in our home when we were growing up, largely because of my father, Dr. Parso Gidwani, who taught Sindhi linguistics and literature at Deccan College, did his PhD in Sufism in the 1960s. So I'm sure that because I'm not seeing the chat box right now, but I'm sure I'll come back. I'm sure it's in the chat. Oh, are we down? My chat box is frozen. Nope. Sorrow always breeds the most fluid words. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Danny. Sorry, I thought we had frozen for a second there, but we haven't. All right, here's a fun story for you. Stretford sun loungers attract rave reviews and poetry on Google. Oh dear, what is the UK? I don't know, but I love it. I love my country. Okay, dozens of glowing reviews have appeared under the entry Stretford's iconic sun lounges, claiming the recliners have, among other things, transformed Stretford. Overlooking a less than scenic portion of the A51545 outside Stretford Mall, the lounges made national news last year and became a local joke, being called Stretford Beach. Now online reviewers have weighed in, calling the wooden chairs a brilliant addition to the Stretford landscape. There's even a poem penned by Emma Hurst. Beneath the sky a golden hue, the Stretford loungers wait for you, where sunbeams stretch with gentle grace and warmth caress every space. Adam Oliver claimed he had dropped everything to witness the famous recliners. Quote, cancelled our European beach holiday and instead opted to hang out on these. Towels on at 5 a.m., cocktails from Aldi around the corner. What more do you want? End quote. It's just a bit of fun, but I thought I'd bring that to your attention anyway. So that's our news section for now. It's such a shame you have to wait for someone to learn, to learn about them. Yes, this is true. This is true. All right, we've got 11 people watching, but only 6 likes. So please show some love. You're breaking my heart right now. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you do. It does genuinely, really, really help. And I would really, really appreciate it. And in the meantime, that's our breaking news section. Let's get into topic 1.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, I do that from time to time. I transition and then I just like switch off. Then I have to switch back on. I'm also very sore right now. So I went to the gym for the first time in a long time on Friday night. And me being me, I was like, well, I'll go easy, but I also have to be back to full strength by Monday. And so I really pushed myself last night and the night before, and I'm supposed to go again tonight, but I'm not so sure. So I can barely move at the moment. Thank you so much for those of you who are hitting that like button. I already hit the like button, so everyone else do it for all of us. Thank you, Clads. Yeah, everyone else do it for all of us. Ouch. Yeah, I was just being stupid. As I say, I thought, well, by Monday I'm going to get back to full strength, and yeah, no, that's not how the body works, unfortunately. All right, so what do we have for you in the way of topic 1? I'm not sure. I'm lost on my sheet. There we go. Do rules ruin poetry? Do rules ruin poetry? This is going to be an interesting one. And as always, I keep forgetting to say this at the start of Nice. You're a legend. Thank you so much, Delgal, for the £5 super chat. Oh my goodness, that's very generous of you. Thank you so much. Welcome to being geriatric. Healing takes an extra week, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm still gonna my goal is to be at full strength from tomorrow, which I know isn't gonna happen, but I'm gonna work out like it is because I'm a stubborn man. That's who I am. Yeah, gym hurts. Sometimes I don't feel it like 2, 3 days after, then body just gives up. Yeah. I used to recover pretty well, but as I say, I haven't been in the gym for a long, long time. Um, and then I just went straight back in. All right, thank you so much for those likes coming in. That's very, very generous. Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, do rules. What was I saying? Do rules ruin poetry? That's what I think. Yeah, do rules ruin poetry? Now, Genevieve has already put the article in the chat, so thank you so much. There's an interesting and quite inspiring article that Genevieve's just put in the chat by David Clark for Poetry School. Um, I'll read the first couple of paragraphs, I guess. Despite the title I have chosen for this workshop, rules in poetry are not necessarily a bad thing. What? Anyone thinking of entering a poetry competition for the first time, for instance, would do well to read Flor Adcock's hilarious The Prize-winning poem, which gives a very clear idea of the kinds of things that are likely to scupper their chances of glory. Telling other people how they ought to write has a very long history, of course, going back to at least as far as Aristotle's Poetics in 335 BC. But the problem with telling writers what they may not do in a poem is that it limits the possibilities of what can be achieved, especially if the person on the receiving end of well-meant advice takes every rule to be a hard and fast one. Very, very true. This bit. I want to read this next bit actually. Here are just some of the pearls of wisdom that I've been offered by other poets. I've meaning um, David Clark, who wrote this article. So here are just some of the pearls of wisdom that I've been offered by other poets. Don't use don't use commas at the end of lines. Never repeat a word in the same poem. Never repeat a word in same poem. Only use everyday language. Never make obscure references. Never use adjectives. Never use more than one adjective in the same line. Never use semicolons. Never use dashes. Never ask questions in poems. And I will read, sorry, I'm basically reading the whole article now. Just the paragraph under that reads, if I walk over to my bookshelves right now and start flicking through a few of the volumes of poetry, I can guarantee you that in the course of a few minutes, I will be able to find excellent poems that break each of these supposed rules. In fact, I'm pretty sure that many of them would break most of these rules. Yes. So that's what I want to talk about for the next 30 minutes, for the next half an hour. What do we think about rules ruining poetry? Nice, you're a legend. Ah, that's nice, class. Yes, Delgil, you are a legend. Hello, by the way. Hello, Mitch. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. I'm glad that you're here. I think there is a time and place for rules. Rules are there to be broken. For the most part, I break the rules, but it's also good to use form within your poetry rules. I think next write along, we should break all the rules in one poem. Yes, that's actually not a bad idea. I quite like that idea. Maybe we can make a note of that, mods, for the next write along. The poem that breaks all the rules. I think rules on language can hinder. Poe, Shakespeare, and others made up their own language for their work. Excellent. Yeah, excellent example, Mark. But form helps bring balance and then metrical variation breaks. That was what the hell was that? Was that a bubble? Did I just blow a bubble out my mouth? That was weird. Did anyone see that? Or I swear just a bubble came out my mouth. That's cool. Anyway, ouch. Always keep in mind the green reed bows in the wind where the mighty oak breaks. Ooh, fun idea, Danny. You would have to be able to hold your breath if there's no punctuations. Yeah, that's a long single breath, right? Um, no. Yes and no. Rules are made to be broken, but I don't shy away from ah I think all the examples of rules that were in that article, I would literally just laugh at the person, Adam be eating soap. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Uh, um, all those rules that were just listed in that article, I think if someone said that to me, I'd be like, okay, I'm never going to take advice from you. Uh, but when I think about forms and stuff, as I say, I quite like, I enjoy forms. I enjoy writing in forms these days and trying to stick to that. But never ask a question in a poem. Never use semicolons. Like, where does this come from? Where does this stuff come from? Does anyone, is there anyone in the chat? I'm interested because I'm always open for my mind to be changed. In fact, that's what I like about these streams, and it has happened in the past. I want you to feel comfortable expressing your opinion, especially if it's different to my opinion, because if you can change my mind, then great. Like if you can change my perspective. So I'm wondering if there's anyone in the chat right now who can tell me why some of these rules were suggested, who can tell me why rules are a good thing. Because naturally, I'm a rule breaker. Although maybe in my old age, I'm turning 33 in a couple of weeks. May 5th, I turn 33, so I guess I'm getting old. In my old age, I am sort of enjoying, as I say, forms and stuff a little bit more than I have done in the past, where I've just broken all the rules and not cared. Perhaps it depends on what you're writing and what you wish to accomplish. Rules may or may not help you. Right, Mark? Right. Could you maybe give me some examples of how they might help you? I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely open to have my mind changed because because so many people think, oh yeah, rules are made to be broken. So I'm kind of being a bit cheeky. I'm kind of being devil's advocate, and I want to know, um, okay, how can I go against that grain? I don't know. Does that make sense? I'm just being a rebellious spirit. I feel like these rules come from the same place as the never split an infinitive or never end a sentence with a preposition. Yeah. Oh, ho, ho. I'm so sore. I use semicolons in my haiku rather than the common hyphen, as I like the visual aesthetic. Aesthetic? I don't know that. Aesthetic? I'm not sure what that word is. Aesthetic. Of it better. And of course, English doesn't have kiregi. We use the comma. Uh, Class retracted her message. Lotus Flower, if everything is filtered through too much. Hello, Lotus Flower. I've seen some of your comments on my videos, but I don't think I've seen you on a live stream before. If I have, correct me if I'm wrong. But hello, Lotus Flower. Welcome to the live stream. If everything is filtered through too much, there's nothing left for creativity to grow. This is so true. Yeah, that's a great point. Meaning they may come from languages like Latin or Greek. Yeah. It is aesthetic. My bad spelling. No worries. That's okay. That's okay. I didn't know if it was a word I didn't know because my brain said aesthetic, but then I thought, no, maybe it's a word I don't know, so I won't change it. But good to have guidelines sometimes. Yeah, I like that's what I'm sort of exploring right now, guidelines and trying to stick to them. And I guess sometimes if I feel like I need to break them a little bit, then maybe I will. Is that going to be too dark now? No, that's better. That's a bit better. Hi, Adam and all. Hi, Ken. Welcome to the live stream. We're just talking about whether rules ruin poetry. Whether rules ruin poetry. I'm interested to hear from Mark to see if Mark can give any examples of how rules might help poems. Again, I'm really open to all of this. So if anyone else has some ideas on how rules help poetry. If you can't ask questions, how can you catch attention and make reader think? Well, this is a good point, yeah. So for Ken, who's just joined us, I read out a list of rules that was given to another poet, and one of them was you can't ask questions, you can't use dashes, you can't use semicolons, and all these really random stuff that doesn't make sense, at least in my head. But that's a good point, Lotus Flower. Well, if you wish to separate two thoughts in a single line, a comma works. If you wish to make if you wish to make both thoughts separated, I see what you're doing here. If you want someone to be able to interpret in more than one way, then lose it. Yeah, fair. Huh. Good point, Mark. Good point. Is there anyone who is there anyone here who thinks that maybe some rules are uh maybe going full Wild West is detrimental to poetry? And by going full Wild West, I mean just not adhering to anything. The only example of rules to help poetry is in content, how a senryu is separated from haiku that I can think of anyway. Rules of language can help ensure that what is being said, written, intelligible. So they can benefit communication. Yeah, that said, arbitrary rules about what is proper can have some problems. Yeah, I think I'm with Genevieve on this one. Generally, I think I'm with Genevieve on this one. I do think that some rules are beneficial, and I do think that some rules uh uh elevate things. I don't think it. I personally, this is why I asked the question. I don't personally think that it should be a Wild West where everything goes and no rules apply, sort of thing. I don't think so. Ask me again tomorrow, my opinion might change. Or ask me in 5 minutes, having spoken to you, wonderful lot, and my opinion might have changed. Hello, Dazzle in the Dark. Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about rules and poetry and whether it ruins poetry or whether it elevates poetry. By it, I mean rules. I agree with Mark. Just scrolling back up. Well, if you wish to separate two thoughts in a single line, a comma works. If you wish to make both thoughts separated. If you want someone to be able to interpret in more than one way, then lose it. I know what you did there, Mark. At least I think I know what you did there. You used a dash and a semicolon. But maybe that's creativity. Example, it for write this I do hard make sense understand to if like it. But maybe that's creativity, right? It's such an this is I think I'm finding this an interesting topic to talk about actually because my I maybe I'm more split on this than I realize. Again, it depends what day you catch me on, I suppose. Because the old me was really like, yeah, quick firing, do whatever, just get it on the page, just express yourself. Whereas so I think someone called me geriatric. Whereas geriatric Adam is now leaning more into form and restrictions. Poetry without any sort of form, does that improve or flatten it? Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I still write in free verse. I still write in free verse, but not often at all anymore. It used to be just I used to just write in free verse and maybe a sonnet. Now I barely touch free verse. And that's because tastes change and people change and styles if your style changes, there's nothing to be frightened of, I don't think. I don't know that there is a hard, fast rule about rules like that. I think if the rules or lack thereof only matter in terms of if what is created is communicating what you want, yeah. And ultimately, just like the poetry that you write, uh, no, hang on. Ultimately, the only important thing here, the what I can't read and I can't speak. Ultimately, the thing that matters most is however you feel about this, then embrace that. So if you are sitting here thinking, I hate rules, I don't want to write to rules, I don't want to write to form, I just want to express myself freely, then that's great and that's not a problem and that's how you should write because that's that's how you should write because that's where it's coming from a real place and I've got a video coming up about this. Um, and vice versa, the other way around. If you're sitting here thinking, yes, I love rules and I agree with Adam, he's writing in form a lot and I want to do that and I've been doing that, then that's great too. Explore that and that's what's going to make doing what you love is what's going to make your poetry good at the end of the day, not rules or lack of rules, but just doing writing in a style that you love is what matters most. Sounded like Mr. Bean. I sounded like Mr. Bean? What? Wow, I'm getting bullied in the mod chat. Apparently I sounded like Mr. Bean. I also think form is such a personal and subjective thing that one can't put a lock on it. Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. The freedom of language in modern poetry is built upon the fragments of rules broken by those that laid the ground. Oh, say it one more time, Mark. The freedom of language in modern poetry is built upon the fragments of rules broken by those that laid the ground for us to write. Oh, I love that, Mark. Very well put. Yeah, absolutely. Mm. Oh, can't even put the mug to my mouth without aching. That's just how I do. This has been a good topic. I've enjoyed talking about this actually. You'll make very, very good points. Very, very good points. Yeah. I think May's right along. We're going to write a poem that breaks all those rules that were mentioned in the article. Evolution is something that keeps poetry alive and will cause it to never die. Yeah, absolutely. I heard something the other day. Someone, a couple of months ago, actually, someone said something to me. No, no, it's a quote for the next topic. Shut up, Adam. Hold on to it. It's a quote for part two. Tell people, rather than hurting yourself at the gym, it's writer's cramp because you have been hard at work. Yes, yes, exactly. My shoulders, my pecs, my lats, they all ache because I've just been writing so much. I wish. Danny sent a video. I can't play that yet, Danny, but I'll play it during the break. I hope it's not you bullying me some more. All right. Okay. Do you know what? I've just remembered we don't have a prompt. We don't have a prompt for the Poetry Cove challenge. I haven't thought of a prompt. So why don't I do this? Why don't we do rule breaking? Rule breaking or breaking the rules, whatever you want. Just rule breaking. That will be your challenge, your prompt for the challenge. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every stream during the 5 minute break, you guys are going to write a poem. If you want to, there's no expectation to, you don't have to. But if you want to win 1 month bronze membership at the Poetry Cove, um, then you write a poem based on the prompt rule breaking or breaking the rules or something along those lines. And when we get back, you can put them in the chat for the opportunity to win a month at the Cove. One rule Make sure you start, yes, your entry with poems so they are easy to find. Thank you, Genevieve. Good stuff. Thank you so much. So I think we'll do that now. We'll take our break early. We'll take our break early because the conversation seems to have met its natural end. And then when we come back, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, the open mic effect. The open mic, the open mic effect on poetry. So let's do that. I will go and grab a coffee. I'll see you in 5. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please do hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in 5. Do, do. Hello, my friends, Gary Goals and fellow poets. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Conversing with Poets. I just about got here in time. I am being bullied in the chat box. Oh dear, 'twas a Mr. Bean giggle. Yeah. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. I've got another coffee. Um, and I'm ready for part two. If you're back, let me know by sending if you're a channel member, you might have me running with a coffee mug to let me know that you're back. Otherwise, just let me know in the chat. Poem. How? How? I'm not sure what happened there. Ha, how Urkobeo rules. I'm not sure. I'm back. Mark's back. I'm not sure how to read your poem, Mark. I'm really sorry if I completely butchered that, but that's a very interesting choice. He broke the rules, right? Right. Absolutely. It was meant to be an art poem. Nice. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. As I say, I like the choice that you made. I just don't know how to read it out loud to the stream, so I apologize if I butchered it. Though I think it says, "How do you break the rules?" Ah, how do you break the rules? Right. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Oh, my laptop is very jumpy. Laptop is very jumpy. All right, Genevieve is back. Nope, I will reply to that, Genevieve, after the stream if that's okay, because I didn't see it until I got back, and then as soon as I got back into the shed, the music was finishing. So I haven't read that just yet. Yes, bold you and I've just been kicked off of YouTube. My internet's not doing very good tonight, guys. I apologize. I'm assuming every time I crash, I'm still live, so I'm assuming the stream is still good. Um, ah, now I'm conscious that I'm sounding like Mr. Bean every time I move. Still live. Okay, thank you. You're still here. I'm still here. I apologize. I apologize, everyone. Adam is still here. All right, cool. So, if we're all met, I guess we can start receiving poems in the chat then. If you've taken part, don't worry if you're still writing. I'll give it until we hit the hour mark. So we've still got 6 minutes if you're still writing. But if you do have your poem, feel free to throw it in the chat right now and we'll see what we got. The prompt is breaking the rules or rule breaking. Thank you, Danny, for using that little emoji. I'm trying not to make a noise now because I don't want to sound like Mr. Bean. It's good pain. It's good pain. It's self-improvement pain. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, if you weren't here at the start of the stream, just to let you know that we won't be streaming next weekend. I'll be in Budapest next weekend, and I don't get back to London that Sunday. I just checked. I don't get back to London until 6:30. So, and then I've got to go through baggage reclaim, security, and all that. And it's about a 40-minute drive back to my place. So there won't be a stream next weekend, but there may still be a members stream whilst I'm in Budapest. So if you want to, maybe consider becoming a channel member to see that. But then we'll be back to regular scheduling the week after. And if you do want to become a channel member, I do believe that there's a link to do so in the description down below. Or maybe the mods might have a link for you. So what are we talking about for part two? I know we've still got 5 minutes, so don't panic if you're writing your poem. We've still got 5 minutes for that. We won't close the competition or the challenge, I should say, for another 4 minutes. But in part two, we're going to talk about the poetry open mic effect. I don't have any articles for this, unfortunately, because I couldn't find anything on it. So maybe we're the first to discuss it. I don't know, but we'll see. Poem from Genevieve. Poem. You've asked us to break the rules. Do you think we're nice? You're a legend. Thank you so much, Dazzle in the Dark, for the 4.99 super chat. I really, really appreciate that. I'm not going to keep mentioning it. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that, Dazzle in the Dark. Thank you so much for the super chat. It means so much, and it's very much appreciated. Uh, you've asked us to break the rules. Do you think we're a group of fools? You won't catch us out, so you can go pow. And that's the end of this poem. Nice. Thank you very much, Genevieve. Yeah, let's get some Gary Gold love in the chat. Oh! All right, 3 more minutes to get your poem into the chat, folks. The prompt is rule breaking, breaking the rules. I was going to say being naughty, but that doesn't necessarily equate to just rule breaking. I see I saw a notification come in, and I don't know what that notification was. Oh, I'm about to go into downtime. No, not that time of year yet. Well done, Jen. I do like the breaking of at least one rule there too, although a very antiquated rule. All right, 2 more minutes. I'm in facilitator mode now. 2 more minutes. Awesome. Thanks, Dazzle. I like that class. One minute left. I'm definitely in facilitator mode now. That's okay. That's okay. I think, no. I was going to say, Jen, I think the only person in the chat who has seen me in full facilitator mode is Genevieve, but I don't think Genevieve was in my workshop, from what I remember. That was nearly a year ago now as well. You was? I totally remember. Of course I remember you in the workshop. Sorry, I didn't think you was in the workshop. I thought you was just in the talk. Um, that's my bad. That's my bad. But Genevieve has seen me in full facilitator mode. There you go. That's my bad. I'm sorry. It's all a bit of a blur, actually. It's all a bit of a blur. Because technically we didn't spend much time in the actual my phone's gone on downtime. We didn't spend too much time in the actual workshop because in the room of the workshop because I sent you all out. I was unable to write as I had to shower, but I thought of something to write for Glopo 25 under the title of Unspoken Rules of the Schoolyard. I love that. To be fair, I was out of the room most of the time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I started reading that as a poem there, Mark. All right. I'm going to assume that all poems are in that need to be in. It is now the hour mark. So what remind me of the poems? We have Genevieve and we have Mark. So Mark's poem is How Do You Break the Rules with all the letters jumbled up. And Genevieve's poem is and class. Oh, I missed classes. Oh, poem break rules to bring more truth. I just wrote that quick, kind of hanging out with my brother. That's okay. That's okay, class. That's okay. All is well. All is good. And Genevieve's poem is You've asked us to break the rules. Do you think we're a group of fools? You won't catch us out, so you can go pout. And that's the end of this poem. I love the end of that. Mine was a joke, to be fair. Hey, joke poems are great. We all love a limerick. We all love a good limerick. I've still got this cough that I've had since, when was it? January? I remember saying to you guys, I really don't want this to develop into a cough. This is why. All right, so drum roll into the chat, please. Drum emojis into the chat. Drums. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. That's what a drum roll sounds like, I'm sure. Yes, thank you, Nightbot. Don't forget to hit that like button. Genevieve with the what are they called? Oil drums, I guess. We need to write Nightbot things as microphones for one challenge. That would be cool. Nightbot, is it me or is Nightbot especially overzealous tonight? Overexcited. I'm not gonna say it again. What? I'm not gonna say it again. Class, where do you find the drumstick? I never can. I love that. I love that class has a drumstick. Yeah, I don't see it either. Maybe leg? Maybe if I put leg. Oh yeah, if you type in leg, it comes up. There you go. I love that. All right, so, and the winner for this week's poetry competition is that's your drum roll. Is Genevieve. So I'm gonna credit your account with a bronze membership, Genevieve. If you've already got one, then I will add the expiry date onto it. I'm trying to remember now if Genevieve has a bronze membership. Either way, I'll either extend it or I'll credit your account with it. You sounded like him again with you. Bum bum bum. Does Mr. Bean say bum 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 bum? What are you doing to me, Danny? You're just showing me up, or you're tricking me to make a fool of myself on my own stream. How dare you? How dare you? All right. I need like some sort of. I need another transition. I need more buttons. I need to make more buttons. We need a transition to go into the topic. Um. Right. Okay then. Right, said Fred. Let's go on to the open mic effect. Again, um I don't have a link for this. So, but I do have a quote. So this is, yeah, someone said something to me a couple months ago, and I didn't really take it in the moment. It's like, and now I think about it, I don't know about it. But someone said to me, so we're going to talk about open mics, and the majority of poetry open mics tend to be slam, spoken word slams and stuff like that. And someone said to me that all poetry, hang on, all slam, hang on, fuck, I can't remember it. Uh, all, all slam is poetry, but not all poetry is slam. Just, I don't know. See, I don't even understand. I don't even get the quote anymore. Not all poetry is slam, but not all slam is poetry. I think that's what the quote was, and I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. It feels a bit okay. But I want to talk about the effect, the open mic effect, that the open mic effect on poetry, if there even is one. does anyone have any experience with this? Does anyone in the chat actually go to many open mics? Um, gotta put you in timeout, Adam. Yeah, gotta put me in timeout. I only know of one regular open mic in my town. Some once or twice a year ones, but the monthly one I can't enter as it is women and trans only allowed to read. I see. Okay. Um, so at least here in London, open mics are cropping up everywhere. It's great to see. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a bad thing by any means. I love it. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, what are you doing? Adam Gary Poetry, please come and follow me. But if you do follow my Instagram, you'll know that I go to open mics quite regularly. In fact, last week I went to four. I went to four open mics in 1 week. So I am going to them a lot. And I just wonder if that is having an effect on poetry, the written word. Do people write poetry more now to be read? And poetry should always be read aloud, by the way, but are people more conscious of the fact that poems do get read now that open mics are cropping up everywhere? I don't know. I'm kind of just throwing it to you guys to see what you guys have to say about this. There are still open mics in America. I think mostly in pubs and cafes. Yeah, yeah, they're great settings for it. The majority of the ones I go to are in pubs. One I go to is in the back of a bookshop, which is cool. One's in a cafe, one's in an arts center. The one I run is in a brewery. So yeah, they make great settings. But I wonder if how, if at all, has it affected the way people are writing poetry now? Do they write it to be performed more than they ever did? Um, yeah. Does reading it live, is that what completes a poem? And again, feel free to disagree, feel free to tell me I'm talking a load of nonsense, but do it in a respectful way. We're always respectful to each other here, of course, goes without saying. Also, we are, yeah, I guess so. We are the first generation of poets, I guess, to have social media, to be able to make little films out of our poems. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just talking in the mods chat. I don't think I've been to enough open mics to have an opinion on this one. Fair enough. If folks haven't maybe if folks haven't don't get out to open mics, um, we can revert to something else. If anyone has any questions or wants to bring something to the table, wants to bring something to the chat, feel free to throw a discussion topic in the chat if this doesn't light people up enough. I just thought it was an interesting thing and it got me thinking, especially after having been to 4 open mics last week. I wondered how, if at all, the fact that so many open mics are cropping up, whether that's actually having an effect on poetry that is being produced. I'm not so sure that open mics have an effect on written poetry, but I'm not quite sure. Where I live, nobody is enthused about poetry, and I've not heard of any local open mics. Do you think it is? Uh, I think so. I think so. And I'll tell you why I think so, because the younger people who have attended my open mic, who have told me like their experience in their background, and they haven't written much poetry, but then they get up and read. Um, they just seem to naturally have an instinct for reading their poems. And I guess no one knows your poem better than you, right? But it almost has a spoken word vibe to it. And I go back to that quote that someone said to me that I just don't understand. All all poetry is spoken word, but not all spoken word is poetry. Uh, I'll be honest, I don't know how that sits with me. It sounds a bit okay, if you say so. But maybe someone can explain that to me in the chat. But there's definitely a stylistic difference when someone goes and does a spoken word, but I don't know how you can say that's not poetry. I don't know. I don't know. It to me, it sounds like it's someone trying to separate themselves from poetry and what people think poetry is, which it isn't anymore. It isn't anymore. So yes, I think the idea of performing poetry, which spoken word very much is, right? That's what people know as spoken word because of viral social media videos and stuff like that. I think that very much is influencing the younger generation on what's coming through. And because there are so many open mics, and because open mics have um become a popular thing of the poets' arsenal to get their work out there, that people are writing with the expectation to perform it or at least record it for social media. Does that make sense, or did I just talk a load of nonsense? That may be the opinion of the source it came from, yeah. And of course, I'm not going to tell anyone their opinion is wrong. It doesn't quite sit right with me to say that spoken word isn't poetry, because, but then again, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I personally do see them as the same thing, but different styles, you know. So, a confluence of social media and the open mic producing this effect. I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's just a sign of the times, isn't it? It's just a sign of the times. No, that's not how Harry Styles' song goes, but it's just a sign of the times. Spoken word in the end all sounds the same to me. Yeah. Again, I don't understand what was meant by spoken word isn't poetry. But again, I'm always open for my mind to be changed. I'm always open to be enlightened on these things. But yeah, it did. At first, I was like, oh, okay, okay, okay. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, wait, what? Wouldn't that be something if open mics messed with the phone? Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if open mics messed with the phone? Might be a way of bringing poetry back into the fold where it belongs. I'm not 100% sure what you mean, Mark. Are you sure you got the quote right? I feel like maybe it makes sense the other way around if the person was trying to distinguish between the stars. No, it was definitely that way around because I was talking at my open mic. I was I was talking to someone at my open mic, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it'd be great to get more of this style involved." And that's why they said, "Yeah, because the thing is, all poetry is spoken word, but not all spoken word is poetry." It didn't make sense to me. at first I didn't really think about it. I was like, oh, right, okay, because we were talking about how to get more of that spoken word style. Because don't get me wrong, it's definitely a very cool style, genre, and it's definitely different to what I would take up to a stage, but I'd still call it poetry. Interesting. So they seem to be of the opinion spoken word doesn't always fit at a poetry reading. Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Which is really, it really is funny. I don't know. I don't know. Are we, are we like going into a poetry politics phase? I don't know. But like that seems really segregating. And I do get that vibe sometimes from spoken word artists. I do get that vibe. Like they were, yeah, they were basic. I was saying, how do we get more sort of this style to the night? And there was that's when they said that quote, and it did come across as if like, yeah, I don't know, I don't know. It's confusing. Is more hip hop, right? I get the quote. Think of Toastmaster, for example, making a speech on the fly on a given topic. It's spoken word, but is speechcraft, not poetry. Right, okay. Interesting. Thank you, Mark. As ever, always coming up with the goods. I suppose so. I suppose so. But yeah, I would definitely say that the rise in open mics across, at least across where I'm from, I can't speak about other towns and cities in the world, but at least where I am, open mics are opening up everywhere. And the social media and videos and channels like Button Poetry, I believe, that create these viral clips. I think the younger poets coming through now are so exposed to that and so accustomed, is that the right word? Accustomed to that side of being a poet and reading it, that that it is influencing the poems that are being written. I think so. I didn't read what Danny said. It's okay, Genevieve. I'm not important anymore. Sorry, I got locked into talking a load of nonsense. Young people are glued to their phones. It would be something if open mics replaced staring at a phone, right? Interesting. What did Danny say? It's poetry. It's just when it's spoken right. It seems. Where are you, Danny? Hey, you missed my view. Oh, I'm so sorry, Danny. I feel like it could get people into writing poetry. If you think about it, open mics are just poets reading aloud their written poems. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Danny. I think there is also a big desire to get back offline and into the world. 100%. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that so much right now. So that might be a part of it. 100%. 100%. Which is nice. It's good to see. All right. I think we solved it. I think we solved it. So, ghosts, paranormal. No, I'm just kidding. Although we do end up having really great conversations about ghosts. That took three people to tell you. I'm sorry, Danny. Maybe it's because you said I sound like Mr. Bean twice. No, I genuinely just missed it. I got locked into what I was trying to say, and I apologize, Danny. Apologize. So yeah, the I don't know when Bruno and I are going to do the Wordsworth Way Trail. I think my birthday's on the 5th, which is a Monday. So I think the plan is to go on the 3rd and the 4th that weekend. I don't know if we're doing 2 days or if we're doing just one day, 14 miles in one day, camp over, and then come back down to London. Uh, look out for that for sure. Look out for that video. It's gonna be. We haven't got anything like that on the channel, so I'm really, really excited. It's gonna be great. It's just gonna be great to, get out into the wilderness with my friends and see some great natural landscapes, and I think his house might be on the trail as well. It's okay. I'll remember that for next time. What do you mean for next time? You called me Mr. Bean. I look forward to reading your chapbook inspired by the footsteps of Wordsworth. That'll be cool. I'm definitely going to take my notebook and I'm definitely going to write some poems while I'm there. I'm actually I'm actually working on my next chapbook. I'm sort of working on it through GloPoRimo, and that might even be ready by the end of the month. Hi guys, I hope everyone understands I love listening to the chat, but I only listen about a third to half the time because I am working outside and inside. That's okay, Ken. No worries. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we can keep you company while you're working. So no worries, no stress. Do I go to the gym after stream? What do you think? Should I go to the gym? I don't think I'd be able to. I can't even move. Just know I remember this. I don't know why you're on a vendetta, Danny. You called me Mr. Bean. It was just revenge. It was just unconscious revenge. Yes, company is what you are. All good. I've been distracted throughout the live stream also. That's okay, guys. No worries. I think I'll probably wrap things up then. I think our conversations. Yes, do it. Do it. What, the gym? Do the gym. Go for a long uphill walk, seeing it's the upper half that's broken. Work the lower half. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Mitch agreed with me. What? Hello, Adam et al. Hi, Mythical Meter. We are just signing out, unfortunately, but good to see you. Don't forget to hit that like button before we go. Sign in, like, and then sign out. My brother unexpectedly showed. Chilling now. That's cool. That's all good. Yes, okay. All right. Lotus Flower has spoken, so I'm going to have to go to the gym. Work on the lower half. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on the lower half. Sigh. It's okay, Mythical Meter. We'll always be here in playback. We had a good discussion in part one about what did we talk about in part one that was so good? Rules. We discussed rules. And in part two, we've discussed open mic, the effects of open mics. I'm not involved. I see how it is, Mitchell. You've betrayed me. Who goes gym at 9 p.m.? Me. I went to the gym at 10 p.m. yesterday and Friday night. I went at 10 p.m. 10 to 11. That's because, oh no, YouTube crashed again. All right, reload. I'm going to sign out, folks. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciated it. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed. 8,020 subscribers. We need to figure out what we're going to do to celebrate. Actually, that's what I want you guys to think about. I'll put a post on my Instagram or on my YouTube community tab. We need to figure out how we're going to celebrate breaking 8,000 subs. Ooh, no, that's snuggle in bedtime. Fair enough. We need to figure out what we're doing to celebrate 8,000 subs. Have a good day, evening, or chatbot. A pleasure as always. Yes, good to see you, Mark. So glad that you could join us. I'm glad that our time zones are not in sync, but you know what I mean, that you could have joined us today. So please hit that like button. If you're watching playback, leave a comment down below. Let me know how to celebrate 8,000 subs. And until next time, happy writing, and I'll see you in the comments section of Tuesday's video. Good night, everyone.
Wow.
changed my mind. Stay, don't go, don't go, don't go yet. Don't go, don't go. Wait, 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 wait. Are you still here? It says that there's still 14 concurrent viewers. I did this last week and I did this last week and I kicked myself for it. I think we're all still here. Can we please get a huge thank you to the mods as always? I'm going to put it on stream card at the start. Thank the mods. A huge, huge thank you to all the mods. They do amazing work behind the scenes. So please flood the chat. Flood the chat with some love. Genevieve's laughing. Flood the chat with some love. I'll kick things off because absolutely they are amazing. They do so much for the channel behind the scenes. And oh, too much love. I've given too much love. There we go. I really, really appreciate it, Genevieve and Danny. You're a great help to me, and thank you for being here, and thank you for keeping the chat safe and all the links and stuff. Cheers, mods. Thank you for keeping Adam in check. Yeah, thanks for bullying me, mods, and calling me Mr. Bean, Mr. Burns, whatever. Thanks, mods. Yeah, you guys are great. Thank you to all the mods. I'm so glad I managed to catch you before you all left, because the mods absolutely deserve all the love as well. So, with all of that being said, thank you so much. That was Danny. Sorry, I painted both mods with the same brush there. Genevieve never bullied me, just Danny. So, only Genevieve gets the love tonight. Just kidding. Good night, everyone. See you in the comment section of Tuesday's video.